This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 14. And it reads, "The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly." First and foremost, as always, just want to give all praises, glory, infinite honor to my power, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, barak, which is all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten and anointed Son, YAHAWASHI, and the Holy Spirit, whom is our strength and our Redeemer, and our light and our salvation. And with that, Mashana, Kabawadim Lahasequanium, Charlotte Gadababakab, which is double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and true shepherds of Israel, pushing in sound action and faith, truth and sincerity. Shalawam, honors and salutations to by Yasha Dabada, or the elect governing body of the 144,000, along with the rest of the 1/3 elect men, women, and children of Israel. All right, and it's your fellow servant, Malak Rayab. All right, just back at it again with another video through the spirit of prophecy, being a testimony of our Lord and Savior, YAHAWAH, whom the master of the world ignorantly refers to, Jesus Christ. I was dealing, in this video, is dealing with one of these last few major prophecies, which is Harmageddon, spoken about in Revelation 16 chapter, and other similar precepts. All right, this is the last world's war. All right, more commonly and mildly known as World War III, in regards to these war drums, these war drums beating louder and louder amongst of the in the midst of these kings of these sovereign nations, mainly I'm saying along with the rest of the kings of these heathen nations, especially within the East, the so-called common side of the world, man, which is prophesied in the book of Revelation 16 chapter about the kings of the East, be prepared in war. All right, roughly paraphrased, but nonetheless, there's a couple of recent news headlines confirm that we are living in perilous times, man, in regards to this last world warfare that brewing, within the economic, political, and geopolitical, along with the military interests of the wicked elite, central bankers, the Amalekites. All right, further, provoking these nations into war. All right, through these war games and whatnot, including, further update on the tensions rising between Russia and Ukraine and America, being used by these wicked elite central bankers, all right, to further instigate, all right, that war down there, all right, by funding Ukraine, with weapon systems, man. All right, so we'll go ahead and bring out some information in regards to these recent headlines to filter everything to biblical prophecy and Lord willingness to further edify and exhort into elect. So it says here, all right, on farsnews.rr, all right, says as it's entitled, U.S. delivers rockets to Ukraine. Okay, says the Pentagon disclosed details of the shipment of anti-tank missile systems and projectiles supplied to Kiev as Moscow grows increasingly concerned about the prospect of a full-blown conflict in Ukraine's Donbass region. This comes shortly after the meeting between Sleepy Creepy Joe and Putin, where Sleepy Creepy Joe threatened Putin, with quote unquote, severe consequences, including economic sanctions on Russia. All right, if Putin decided to have Russia invade Ukraine, okay, in which Putin, expresses, his displeasure, all right, and angst, with America, further, influencing Ukraine, to join NATO, as it has been reported. Okay, in which Putin has considered that as a quote unquote red line, criminal activity, in which Sleepy Creepy Joe responded by saying, "We're not worried about your red line. Now you have this happening, man." So they're further poking the bear, while you have other similar events happening where they're getting involved in other sovereign affairs, man, down there in China with the whole Taiwan situation, because this is what these devils do, man. All right, the self-proclaimed Caucasian race, the Idumeans, okay, where they invade lands to destabilize, the territory of that land. All right, by infiltrating, the leadership, infiltrating the land. All right, by influencing the leadership and ultimately destabilizing the economy, and that's why all of their wars are economically and financially driven. You know what I'm saying, like. Going back to the CIA drug war scandal in 1986, we had these devils, all right, fund the guerrilla Contras, all right, with, they supplied them rather with the weapon systems that they funded off of the the weapon sales to Iran, oddly enough. Okay. You know, you know, that much more further, you know, through the drug trafficking within the Nicaraguan border. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Which, you know, I was actually coming across, you know, I actually came across some information on, you know, on Netflix on that, you know, further dive more into that secular history, you know, dealing with you know, the government funding of, you know, the weapons down there in Nicaragua, you know, getting involved in that civil war, because this is the nature of the self-proclaimed white man prophesied in Micah the 2nd chapter, where they invade lands, all right, to, you know, to take over a land that doesn't belong to them, man. They did the same thing during the Spanish Inquisition, okay, to obtain America, and they did the same thing during the so-called you know, war in Iraq, all right, which was a war over resources, man. Okay, dealing with the poppy fields and the oil, and doing the same thing now, all right, with these other nations, man. Ukraine, China, okay. I'm about to bring out some additional information on that, but continuing here, it says in a statement received by news outlet TASS, Pentagon spokesman Lieutenant Colonel Anton Semerov said that the $60 million package included 30 Javelin command and control launchers, as well as 180 missiles. See, so what are you getting involved in their sovereign affairs for? They said down here, in 2021, the U.S. allocated more than $450 million in aid to Ukraine for security tasks as part of our continued commitment to support the country's ability to defend its sovereignty and territorial integrity, the spokesman added. Okay, which poses the question once again: what the hell are you doing, getting involved in other nations' sovereign affairs, man? Okay, and that's further angering, you know, Russia, because Ukraine was a former member of the Soviet Union, man. Okay, tied in with Russia, so Russia essentially considers Ukraine their territory, and rightfully so. Okay, you know, that essentially was the case at one point before they declared independence back in '91. Okay, so now you have this situation, and you have another, territory in the east, which I'm about to go ahead and get into. All right, I'm going to pull out that information here in this other article. All right, entitled "Israel Preparing Military Option Against Iran." Okay. And this was yesterday. And it says Israel's military is preparing a possible strike against Iran. The country's media has reported, citing defense and diplomatic sources. Tel Aviv has already notified the U.S. of its plans, facing no veto on such preparation. So these devils are, further, continuing their rhetoric, all right, against Iran on them, reportedly increasing their uranium enrichment to expand their nuclear program. All right. So they're conspiring and devising an attack against their weapon systems down there in Iran. Okay. So I'm about to bring out some information on that here. Let me see. Let me jump down a little bit. So let me see. Yep. It says during his U.S. visit, Gantz, this is Benjamin Gantz, the replacement of Netanyahu. During his U.S. visit, Gantz expressed hopes of deepening dialogue and cooperation with Washington when it comes to Iran, as well as to enhancing the joint military readiness to face Iran and to stop its regional aggression and nuclear aspirations. While Austin appeared to be less warlike, he said Washington was concerned about Iran's failure to show constructive diplomatic engagement, warning that U.S. President Sleepy Creepy Joe was prepared to turn to other options in dealing with Tehran. We clearly know what that is, man. These devils are preparing for war, okay? And once again, they're all economically driven because they fund these wars, and that's why here, not too long ago, yeah, these people here, I'm going to pull it out here. Okay, you see this in the headline, okay? These people holding military parade with U.S.-made weapons as a show of strength down in Kabul. So how do they get these weapons? They were supplied these weapons because these devils fund these nations these weapons, man. Oddly enough, this is the same nation they blamed the attack back in 2001 on. Okay? So why the hell are you funding them? Why the hell are you supplying the weapons? Because it's all business. Okay? It's all about power and control of this devil, man. And he uses these narratives to further mask what he's really doing. But This is Jeremiah 49:10 being further fulfilled. With Ashashua is being further revealed to the world. His true, wicked, vile, profane, destructive nature, man. Okay, because this war is going to cause great death and destruction. Okay, and these are one of the last few prophecies that must happen pursuant to St. Matthew, the 24th chapter, before YAHAWAH returns, man, to deliver us from this devil's grasp and the rest of these heathen nations, man. Okay, and the misery of us and his wretched flesh. So I'm going to go ahead and get the next precept in Habakkuk 2 and 5. Start there in verse 5. And it says, yea, also because he transgressed by wine. Okay, his wine of fornication, his Western philosophy predicated off of so-called white supremacy, that that he is entitled, okay, to to obtain everybody's natural resources, all right, and means of survival, just so he could weaponize these resources, to coerce and condition the minds of the masses to eat out of his hand, man. Okay, he wants ultimate control, which goes back to Genesis 27, around the 41st verse. Okay, where our forefather Isaac, okay, all right, the pre-incarnation of YAHAWASHI gave this devil Ashashua his blessing, man. Okay, fatness of the land by way of his sword, the blessing. That's exactly the description of the self-proclaimed white man's true nature, because that is his forefather, further confirming and revealing who he is, pursuing biblical prophecy, man. Okay, and that's further confirms these last few prophecies come to pass. Why? Because this is the book of the Lord, the book of life, not no other book, man. Okay, the Babylonian Talmud, okay, the Book of Mormons, all right. None of that madness, man. The Holy Scriptures, man. All right. So back at 2 and 5. Yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, death and destruction, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, and but gather into him all nations, and heapeth to him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. You look up that word clay, I believe it's abadiat in Hebrew, which is debt. Okay, and that's why the debt of America, orchestrated nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, it's well over $29 trillion in debt, and the federal budget is well over $3.1 trillion in debt. Okay, because they back in 1913 they composed that Federal Reserve tax to control people through debt, a debt-based currency, which they did back in Rome, which further confirms this is Rome all over again, man. Okay, said to be destroyed, okay, in similar fashion as it was before, this time more tremendously. All right, pursuing Malachi 1 and 4 and other precepts. Okay, Habakkuk 2 and 7. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and that shall be for booties to them, spoils of war? Is what you devils are going to be to these other nations, man, because they're getting tired of your shit. Okay, getting tired of you interfering in their sovereign affairs, man. So you can only back somebody in the corner for so long before they come out swinging, man. That's what these other nations are doing. Why? Because their sovereign business and livelihood is on the line. Okay, not just yours. Okay, so you got hell coming to you, man, for all the shit you've been doing on the earth. Habakkuk 2 and 8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Woe to him that coveteth an evil woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. And he's done that regarding his nest on high with the stratosphere. The satellite in the stratosphere, man. Okay, looking to further play God on earth. Okay, and that's why he's looking to use this prelude of this biological warfare situation, to roll out the Charagma, which is why they got Musk, all right, in the headlines as of recently, being used as a further pioneer on behalf of Tesla, all right, and Neuralink, to have everybody, embalmed with this Charagma, okay, in the year 2022. Why? Because these last two prophecies are simultaneously, being spoken about and transpiring, man. We're gonna have the Charagma come out first, and they're gonna have the last world's war. Because once again, these wars are financially driven, man, by the wicked interests of this devil, this covetous bastard, man. Okay. Habakkuk 2:10, thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and has sinned against thy soul, because of what these devils are doing, okay, is a detriment to their own existence, man. Okay. Like I said in a couple of verses prior to that, man, their desire is as hell, death, and destruction. Okay. They've set the Lord has used their wicked nature against them as a snare, all right, to bring them death and destruction, man, for being the unprofitable rulers of the entire earth, the rulers of the darkness of this world, man, with evil intentions for the world, to control everybody, man, unjustifiably, okay, by being the bidders of Satan. And that's going to come back to bite them, man, within this last world's war, resulting in great death and destruction, man, which leads me to this last precept in Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 25. And it reads, behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, said the Lord Yahawah, which destroyed all the earth. All right. And this destroyed mountain is great destructive government. Okay. All right. Within the wicked council of, these devils' confederacy, man, mainly within America. Okay. Then their judicial branch, or executive branch, or legislative branch. Okay. Which is further branch off of their oligarchy, their monarchy, their democracy back in the Greco-Roman Empire. It's the same empire all over again. Okay. The splitting image of the pagan Greco-Roman Empire. Okay. Prophesied in the book of Daniel is that little horn. That's America. The destroying mountain. The wicked carbon cast over the entire earth, man. Pursuing Isaiah 25:7. Revelation 17. The whore that sits upon many waters. Okay. Verse 25. Behold, I'm against thee, O destroying mountain, said the Lord Yahawah, which destroyeth all the earth. And I will stretch out mine hand upon thee, and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. All right, because these devils, are cave dwellers, man, known to dwell within the rocks. And that's why the Amalekites try to erase the history of them, being within, dwelling within the mountains within Georgia, South Georgia, Russia, between the Caspian Sea and the Black Sea. Okay, when it's clear that they are the people that got chased into those caves during the Dark Ages by our forefathers, man. All right, the so-called Moors or of the Byzantine Empire. Okay. So this devil is at his last. He's at his wit's end, man. He's doing all he can because he knows that he has but a short time before the Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI ultimately pulls a plug on his system. Okay, during his paradigm shift and pursuing Sirach 10:8, having this wicked kingdom translated over to the grasp of Jerusalem, where the king of the Jews and the rest of the nation of Israel rule over this devil forever and forever, man. Okay. Within a 1,000-year period anyway, before he is destroyed. As this prophesied in Revelation 20 chapter. Why? Because he is the disease of the earth is going to be cured by the physician, Yahawashi, in these last days. And that's going to happen in our lifetime, man. Because these last two prophecies are happening. Okay? And it will happen, and they will ultimately will commence very soon. So I'm going to end it off here and give all praises, glory, and infinite honor to my power. YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI barak wadash. All right, for giving me the spirit to do this video, which I pray is further edifying, exhorting to your elect who come across this video. And with that, abad abal, DTA, Kwame Ashala, Shalawam, and on to the next one.